It's time for some Google Translate shenanigans, which is the technical term for taking the bios for Thomas characters, translating them into a whole bunch of languages, and then back into English. This is the fourth time I've done a video like this, and so for those of you who haven't watched the last 3 videos in the series, I've created a handy dandy playlist to get you up to speed. With that, I think I've explained everything I need to, and so we can make a start. Oliver's official character bio reads as follows. Oliver and his brake van Toad were saved from scrap by Douglas and are very grateful to him. Oliver had a new coat of paint, of which he is very proud, and now works happily on Duck's branch line. But, when translated a bunch of times, this gets changed to Douglas is grateful to have rescued Oliver and his truck from the fence, the place where Todd was tied up. Oliver has been repainted and looks as good as new. He is excited to work on the Duck song. When I first started this Google Translate adventure, I was not expecting a reference to the Duck song. Here I was, thinking that the Duck song was worked on by Bryant Oden and Forest Fire 101, but apparently it seems that Oliver the Great Western Engine had a hand, or buffer, in creating the viral phenomenon as well. The original untranslated bio refers to Duck's branch line, but I'm not sure how the branch line became a song. Either way, I've decided to have Oliver direct the music video for the Duck song, with a clapperboard in his buffers. How he can operate a clapperboard, I'm not entirely sure. Now it's time to address the other elephant in the room, Todd. Obviously this began as Toad, but literally became lost in translation. I figured that it would be funnier if I just went along with adding a character called Todd into the scene, rather than just acknowledging that Todd is Toad misspelt, which would be boring. I decided that the Todd in question should be Todd Flanders, so I decided to draw him tied to the fence as the bio implies. As a kid, I would often doodle characters like Dexter, SpongeBob and Timmy Turner, but weirdly I don't think I ever drew any Simpsons characters as a kid, so there's a strong possibility that this is my first time drawing a Simpsons character. Most people start with Homer or Bart, and here I am starting out with Todd Flanders, which is probably a first. I've added Douglas into the scene, who is grateful to have rescued Oliver from the fence, but slightly confused as to why Todd is there. I'm not sure why Todd has been tied to a fence, but I'm going to blame Bart, because it was probably his idea. But, with that said and done, here is the completed illustration. Here is the official character description for Emily. Emily is a beautiful engine, with shiny paintwork and gleaming brass fittings. After she rescued Oliver and Toad when they were stuck on the tracks, Sir Topham Hatt rewarded her with a brand new pair of coaches. Fun fact, before Emily got her own coaches, she pulled Annie and Clarabelle for a short time, much to Thomas's dismay. And here is the description after being translated. Emily is a beautiful, colourful steam engine with shiny brass parts. When 2 cars, Oliver and Toad, get stuck on the tracks, she races to save them and wins 2 new cars as a prize. Do you know what you're doing? Emily pulls them over for a while before Clarabelle and Annie appear on the scene, much to Thomas's surprise. So yeah, that's an odd one alright. Toad is himself again, but now he's become a car alongside Oliver. I noticed that the translated description states that Emily pulls them over, which made me envision Emily as a cop, and so that influenced the general look of this piece. I know there technically do exist police locomotives, but this has got to be the first time I've seen a police steam engine. It's interesting that only a few videos ago I merged Toad with a car, and now, in this illustration, Toad literally is a car. I'm not sure what he and Oliver are doing on the tracks, but the translated bio says that they're stuck there, and surely the translated bio wouldn't lie to me. Toad and Oliver don't seem especially thrilled to have been caught by Sergeant Emily. I've replaced her safety valve bonnet with a police siren, which has presumably alerted Oliver and Toad of her whereabouts, but they haven't had the time or ability to escape from the tracks. They'll probably get a hefty fine for doing whatever they were doing that warranted an arrest, probably blocking the line and preventing trains from getting through. Maybe their crime is barely even worth worrying about, and Emily is just putting in all this effort because she wants to win 2 new cars as a prize, as her newly translated bio suggests. Clearly the crime that the 2 cars have committed is bad enough to warrant Emily sending for reinforcements, hence why Annie and Clarabelle are on the scene. I'm not sure how they got there, considering they don't appear to be being pulled by anyone. Maybe they're being pushed from behind. However they got there, they appear to be quite cross with Car Oliver and Car Toad for the heinous crime that they have doubtless committed. Thomas is arriving in the distance, not quite sure what exactly has happened, or why Annie and Clarabelle are so far away. But, with all that said and done, here is the finished drawing. Here is Rosie's official character description. Rosie is feisty, fun and free-spirited. Rosie is a tomboy tank engine. She's almost the same size and has the same capability as Thomas, whom she idolises. She seeks to copy his every action and follow his every mood, with great charm and equal persistence. This drives Thomas crazy. He just wants to be left alone to be really useful. But why, thinks Rosie, can't they be really useful together? And here it is, after being put through the translation ringer. Rosie is a lively and independent machine. She is full of energy and enthusiasm. Because of her size and abilities, she is the perfect companion for Thomas. She wants to be just like him and brings a lot of beauty and love to the mix. Rosie tries to imitate Thomas in everything, his actions, his games, even his tweets. Thomas, on the other hand, wants to focus on his work and really tries to be a useful machine. Although Rosie's behaviour can be confusing at times, she remains optimistic and wonders why the 2 of them can't be useful machines. To be honest, this translation isn't quite as extreme as the other 2. Some of the wordings are different, but the general gist of the bio is left more or less unscathed. Okay, bringing beauty and love to the mix is a bit weird, but otherwise it's pretty accurate. I decided to home in on one specific part of the text. Rosie tries to imitate Thomas in his tweets? I thought that would be a good idea for an amusing image, so I decided to focus on that. So here are Thomas and Rosie in Tidmouth Sheds, using their laptops at a desk, as they are known to do. Thomas is tweeting something very profound. If nobody else is going to call him a really useful engine, then he will do it himself. Rosie has decided to copy Thomas's tweet. After all, she does wonder why the 2 of them can't be really useful together. Thomas is a bit annoyed at Rosie for copying his tweet verbatim, since he worked really hard on crafting it, only to get 3 likes. Rosie's tweet has fared somewhat better, getting thousands of likes and retweets. We really do live in a society, as Diesel 10 might say. I decided to give Rosie her red colour scheme, as opposed to her original pinkish lilac livery. I mainly did this because I already made her pink when I reinterpreted her as a Railway series character, and given she's going to be painted red and be a main character in the upcoming reboot, it seemed fitting to paint her in a newer livery for this specific illustration. Rosie's presence in the new series is also why I decided to feature her this early on in the Best Translation series. Well, that, and the fact that I was going to do Bill and Ben, but their bio when translated a bunch of times wasn't particularly amusing and didn't give me much to go off of. Maybe I can find a way to make the translation more amusing for the next instalment in this series. And, with that said, here is the completed illustration. And there you have it. Oliver, Emily and Rosie are to get in the Google Translate treatment. This one may have been the wackiest one of all, although to be fair it is a very close call. I'm still not sure if anything can top Percy riding a motorcycle. But it was definitely a fun one to illustrate, and I hope you've had just as much fun watching. I'm still not 100% sure what my next video will be yet, but if you subscribe, you'll be one of the first to find out, so make sure you are. Be sure to like and comment, and I'll see you all next time.